My name is Pete Haristo. I am the Vice Chair of the Planning Commission, and I am substituting for our Chairman, Michael Richards, who is excused today. I'm hereby calling the Murray City Planning Commission meeting to order at 6:35 p.m. on Thursday, July 17th, 2025. We welcome all of you here. We appreciate the public's input and participation in this process. This meeting is also, the public may view this meeting on via a live stream at www.murraycitylive.com or https://www.facebook.com/Murray City, Utah. You may submit comments via email to the pc@murray.utah.gov. We will begin with some business items. The first item will be the approval of minutes. However, there are no approval of minutes, so we'll move on to the second item. Any conflicts of interest this evening by any of the commissioners or any?
No.
Okay, no conflicts of interest. The third agenda item is approval of findings of fact regarding Sayed Auto for conditional use permit, Lorana Auto Sales conditional use permit, Holy Protection Orthodox Church site plan review, Murray Tower Plaza master site plan review. Those will be handled at the end of the meeting. The commissioners have had an opportunity to review those findings of facts for accuracy.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that the Planning Commission approve the finding of facts and conclusions for the Sayed Auto conditional use permit, Lorena Auto Sales conditional use permit, the Holy Protection Orthodox Church site plan review, and the Murray Tower Plaza master site plan review as presented in our pre-meeting.
Chair, I second the motion.
Is that a voice vote? We have a motion from Commissioner Hacker and a second from Commissioner Kling. We'll take a voice vote on this. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Findings of fact are approved. First item on the agenda regarding conditional use permits, administrative action on our behalf is the Automotive Addiction Museum. The applicants here, thank you. Ruth Rock from the planning staff will be presenting this item to the commission.
Thank you, Commissioner. So I'm here to present a conditional use permit application to allow an automotive storage facility and museum at 158 East, 4500 South. The property is located south of 4500 and east of State Street. The applicant will occupy 2 units in the existing building, and both units equal about 23,600 square feet. The property is located in the CD zone and surrounded by a mix of residential and commercial zoning, with residential properties to the north and east and commercial properties to the south and west. So for the proposed business, the primary use will be the storage of vehicles, but the vehicles will be displayed in a similar manner to a gallery exhibit. It's worth noting that the applicant has operated their business at another location in a similar facility as this one. So here is the site plan. Here's the floor plan showing which units the business will take. And here's the floor plan showing how the vehicles will be stored. And regarding landscaping, the frontage along 4500 South will be enhanced with additional landscaping to meet city code as shown on this table. For parking and access, this use requires 30 parking stalls, and the site meets that requirement. And the property can be accessed from 4500 South and 4600 South. Notices for this agenda item were mailed, but staff did not receive any comments. And so staff finds that the proposed use for an automotive storage facility and museum is allowed in the CD zone, subject to conditional use permit approval, and with conditions as outlined in the staff report, the proposed use and property will comply with the standards of the Murray City Land Use Ordinance. The proposed use is not contrary to the goals and objectives of the Murray City General Plan in this area. And so staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve a conditional use permit to allow an automotive storage facility and museum at the property address 158 East, 4500 South, subject to the following conditions. And the applicant has prepared their own thoughts to share, so I'll direct some of your questions to them, but I'm happy to take any questions as well.
Thank you, Ruth. Are there any questions by the commissioners of staff?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth. We'll open the, could we have the applicant step forward, please? Thank you. Would you please state your name and address for the record?
Sure. My name is E.R. Koran. My personal address or our business address? What would you
Either
like?
one.
My personal address is 7782 Decrescendo Drive, Eagle Mountain, Utah, 84005.
Thank you.
For sure.
You've read that the conditions set forth by the staff with respect to having your conditional use permit approved?
Yeah, my business partner has, and this is one of his employees at the architectural firm that he works with, and he can answer any questions related to that, but I believe we've reviewed everything and everything looks great.
So you are able to comply with the conditions?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Could,
Do you have any other questions for commissioners?
yes, could you just describe the business, like what kind of cars, and mentioned having events there and so on?
Yeah, mostly rare and exotics, classics as well. If you guys have ever been to our car museum at the Southtown Mall, we've got a display of 100 or so cars, and people seem to really enjoy it. We see about 1,000 to 2,000 people that come through and visit the museum, and we store cars there, and it seems to be working pretty good. We've been doing it for about 5 years. We did it in Provo, we've done it in Sandy, and we'd like to do it here as well.
So are you keeping the Sandy location?
We'll be keeping the Sandy location. This will be an additional location.
And do you also buy and sell cars there? Is that my
We
understanding?
don't. We would like to buy and sell cars at this location. So we'd like to operate as a dealer in a consignment facility. We do not do that in our Sandy location, and we've not had a dealership under this name before. But I am a car dealer, and I've got a dealership that I own part of in Pleasant Grove, Utah, and I've been doing that for about 5 years also.
One of the, in some of the information that the commissioners got suggested that, you could have receptions and different kind of events there, and it said up to 1,000 people. And we all looked at ourselves and said, 1,000 people in that little parking lot, in that building with 78 perhaps vintage cars could be a little on the high side, I think, so.
Yeah, I think the number was put in there bigger so that we could get some feedback from you guys as far as what you guys feel comfortable with. But if you guys feel more comfortable with 500, 300, we're totally good with that. We obviously want to comply with whatever you guys feel comfortable with.
Well, on that, is the museum going to be open to the public, or is it a
Museum
private?
is open to the public.
Oh, okay, so would you keep regular 5-6 day?
We probably
Hours?
wouldn't, it wouldn't make sense for us to have a 7-day work week there or be open 7 days a week, just because there's just not enough traffic. Even in our Sandy location in the mall, we have a lot of dead hours, so it doesn't make sense for us to be open every day, but we'd like to be open Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday.
Okay.
Obviously not the dealership component of that on Sunday, because that's not allowed. But for museum tours, something like maybe Monday nights for family home evening, Friday night, Saturday all day, Sunday most of the day, would make a lot of sense for people to come see cars. And then car events generally, like Cars and Coffee, where people come and bring their cars, They park in the parking lot, they show off some of their vehicles, come in and see the rest of the vehicles. That seems to work really well for us.
How many people have you generally come at your other locations?
As far as for,
When you have the museum open, we're trying to understand this 1,000 people thing. Like at the Southtown Mall, how many people have shown up for your events there?
oh, for an event, so I'd say our largest event was probably about 250 people, and that's when we hosted a corporate event for somebody else. But we'd like the opportunity to be able to do that because that's where we can make a good bit of money. If we can open our doors and allow people to host events within our space, then corporate events specifically, then that's where we can make we can be profitable.
So you kind of explained it, but so how often would you have, I guess, a significant event there?
So I would say, so our events that we host for our car club members and for the general public that are like car community stuff, generally 150 to 200 would probably be more than, that's probably, so our car club, I'll back up and I'll explain a little bit better, which is our car club currently has 20 or 25 members that are car owners that store cars with us and then come in for events that we host. We generally host 3 events a month. Right now we host one in our Provo location to showcase our Provo location. We host one in our Sandy location to showcase our Sandy location, and one in our Trolley Square location to showcase our Trolley Square location. As far as our members that are bringing cars to show, generally we see about 20 cars and their spouses that they bring. So 40, 50 people within our space that we're hosting as VIPs, and their cars are being displayed outside. That's what happens in Provo. That's what happens in Trolley Square. In Sandy, we no longer host events there because they don't allow us to be open after hours, and that's when most of those events people want to, they don't allow us to be open, or they don't allow us to host events after mall hours, which is only until 8 o'clock. So if you want an event that goes till 9, we can't do it. So we need a little bit more flexibility than that to be able to host an event that if you guys wanted to say, hey, I want to do a birthday party, we've got 50 people or 100 people or 150 people, big birthday party, but you want it from 7 p.m. to 9 or 10 in the evening, which isn't unreasonable, I would think. We can't do that in Sandy, so we have to do
This
that in
location
Provo.
would permit you to do that.
Yes,
Is that correct?
we're hoping that you'll allow us to do that, yes.
And there's one other tenant in this?
There are 2
Facility.
other tenants. There's a church next to it in that
On-
lower section.
On that same property,
Correct.
I think, is there another tenant in that building? I'm thinking about more parking. And I
Yeah,
think
so
they're
there's-
on the north side of the,
I don't know if you can see that floor plan that she's displaying, but yeah, that lower section is a church that obviously only operates on Sundays. And the tenant to the right, they have their own thing. They're a landscape company, I think.
I want to ask staff, we touched on this briefly before, what do you think about the potential of so many people and the impact on the parking for managing these events?
Have they talked to the fire department at all?
It would, I don't think they've talked to the fire department. We have not with regards to any event center being held there. So, I mean, I think without a more full review, I think limiting it probably to that, probably 250, you'll have to add a condition onto there. So without actually fully reviewing it to make sure everything looks good, I'm questioning myself. So that's what I would recommend at this point is capping it there at 250 for now. And then we can see kind of how that goes. And if they are wanting to do more, we can bring an amended CUP to either remove the condition or bump that up, at least for the time being. Yeah, I think that would be the best course of action.
So we can do that and just say, let's go 250 and see how it goes. I mean, I like the business idea. The difference between the storage and handling events, that potential number of people there on 45th South in that location is kind of another matter. So,
We're totally good with 250.
but we could
It's great
take a
for
look
us.
at that a little bit later. And I don't know, what else would have to be involved in the review to consider that?
Yeah, so you can add that as a condition, and then we can evaluate as they go through, and as they get a business license, we can flag it and say we can take a look at it in a year and see kind of what that looks like. That is definitely within your purview as the planning commission to add a condition to mitigate impacts, right? So yeah, outside of us like completely tabling this for us to go back and do a full review, then it would be, I think this is the best course. of
When
action.
would you be prepared to start the business?
We'd like to get started with improvements right away and try and open as soon as possible. We're not looking to change the building much at all. We're just adding a fire exit, and I think that was one of the requirements from the fire department, but I could be mistaken. But there's if you could bring up the floor plan one more time.
A202.
A202. So actually, just right there at the top left, there's not an existing door at the top left there. So we'd be adding that because that was recommended. And so we'd be adding that door. There's a little pony wall at the bottom left that we'd like to add in front of the bathrooms. It makes it look a little bit nicer, and it gives us the ability to then put our logo there just to make it look nicer. And that's essentially it, just paint to make it look nice in there, and we'd like to get started as soon as possible.
So you could work with this condition, the
Absolutely,
250? Okay,
absolutely.
good. Okay, yeah, I
So-
look forward to that business.
Other than, I think there were 56 parking spaces outside, other than those and the vehicles parked inside, do you have any vehicles parked outside other than perhaps if your club shows up and has their 25 or whatever vehicles outside the show, but are there other permanent vehicles of yours or other people that would be parked outside permanently?
No, all the storage should take place inside. We have I've got a 6x6 military truck that we talked about maybe putting outside for signage. Obviously, we would subtract that from the number of parking stalls that are available. But that's really about it. All of, the cars that we're storing are generally worth between 100,000 and $1 million. And so we want to keep them inside and keep them safe.
How many
So-
cars does this indicate you could store?
Do you remember what the count is on
78
that?
inside,
Okay.
78 stalls inside.
Yeah,
All right, thanks.
78 on the floor, and then
Okay.
as we are able to fill that, then obviously we'd add some lifts to be able to store an additional sum.
So in the right in, right out on 45th isn't going to hamper your,
No,
Business
it's
at
actually,
all?
it's relatively
Yeah.
level.
your other exit on 4600 south, that's,
We don't actually plan on using that lower
Okay.
exit. It'll all just be on the north end on 45th.
but it's there,
Yes.
so. Good. Great, thank you.
Okay.
Anybody have any other questions of the applicant here? We thank you.
Thank you.
We'll open the public comment period next.
Okay.
You may sit down in case
Okay,
we have
thank
to, we may need to ask further questions, but you will have 3 minutes to speak. And we ask that you state your name, address, and that subsequent speakers, please do not rehash or repeat what was said before. If you have a new point to make, then that's what we feel is most productive. So is there anyone here who has any public input at this time? Thank you.
Hi, my name's Leanne Parker Reed. I live on 48 South and 650 East, more or less, right in that area. My comment is that I like the business idea. I'm a little concerned about the people and cars because the church facility that you mentioned is probably the one I'm thinking of on about 163 East and 4600 South, which does do additional activities during the weekdays, not just Sunday, especially with the youth during the week. And so that would be my concern, is that there's quite a few youth in and around that building frequently. And so that would be a little concern of mine for safety reasons. And I know that you said you weren't planning on specifically using that exit or entrance on 4600 South, but if it were to be used, or as long as it's emergency use only, that would be less traffic that would go on that street area. So just a concern to be looking forward to, that there are plenty of public use in that area. And I'm mostly interested in making sure they're safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment on this matter? Seeing that there isn't none, we'll close the public comment period. Do we have any further discussions or questions for staff at this point?
I would have one more for the applicant.
Would the applicant please come
So
to the
to
podium?
answer that question regarding the church, have you talked with the church parishioners or administration at the church at all?
I have not.
Okay.
Again, just for clarity, we do see at Southtown, in a mall, we do see between 1,000 and 2,000 people that walk through our museum a month. But this is not a mall, and I doubt very highly that even within our condensed hours, that we'll see a large amount of traffic on a regular basis. Our business is mostly storage, and we'd like to do some events, but those events would be in the evening, and that's when most people want to have events. And so the number of parking stalls that we need, I understand, is a little bit concerning, but really most of the people that are coming to our events are storing cars with us, and that's who we're catering to. So they might show up with a car, or they might get dropped off by Uber or so on, but I'm not worried that much about the amount of traffic, which is also why it's very easy to say no problem to 250.
So it's mainly your membership that would be coming? It's not sort of like you're not marketing a large public event?
I mean, we'll certainly have, and we'll comply with, special event permitting and so on if the events look like they could be larger. But I mean, aside from, certain events periodically, I do not expect huge crowds that are coming to our events.
I have a question. I'm rapidly doing math while we're sitting up here. I think the property owner is here, isn't he? Could I just ask a question of one of you real quickly? Just have one of you come up. Yeah.
Thank you. Would you please state your name and address for the record?
Eugene Kim, Chihan Kim, 158 East, 4500 South.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Just real quick, Ruth, could you go back to the aerial for me? It doesn't, I guess it kind of shows it. So on the very bottom of this picture, it looks like there's kind of an open yard area.
Mhm.
Is that, would that be available for them to possibly use as temporary parking?
That property is part of the other tenant.
Is it
So
part of the other
tenant's
tenant?
using that, and I do think that the concerned church
Okay,
is also on the street down there, so the automotive addiction would not have any throughput
okay.
traffic.
Yeah, the LDS church is further south.
Yes.
But you guys do rent out the kind of where the white entrance is, right?
Yeah, they're
that-
currently using that for their storage.
Oh, they're using it for their storage?
Yeah,
Okay.
they have large outdoor equipment items that they leave.
Okay, so when it says church tenant, it's not like an actual church.
Oh,
being-
no. So the church tenants up there on the
Okay.
top, the southern portion up there.
Okay, perfect.
And
Okay.
they're the ones that are only open on Sundays. But
Okay, perfect.
The LDS church,
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that helps. Thank you.
Sorry, confusing, two different churches.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. One on the north, only open on Sundays. The other church is on the other end that you can't see on the map there, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Anything else?
You just put the motion back up on the screen.
I have a question for staff, if I can ask it. I feel like we should have the car sales on the conditional use permit, and I just want your opinion.
Yeah, that was something that I thought of. That wasn't something, and no offense to you, we just weren't aware of it at the time, that they wanted to also do auto sales out of this. So that wasn't included and it wasn't noticed as car sales. So we can't really add that on there because it hasn't been included as part of the conditional use permit. But what I can say is that we can either come back and bring in either an amended CUP that allows them to include the auto sales. We just have to notice it, right? So that the public has an opportunity to see that there would be auto sales happening there as
Right.
well. That's a legal standard that we have to meet from state code. So we can either bring one back going in the future. That made no sense. Bring one, I'm like back to the future type stuff. But yeah, so we can, after this meeting, so this would kind of allow for the museum storage and the events, but then we can come forward when you're ready to do the sales and we can just kind of go through all of this all over again.
Let me add on to that. So is auto sales the same as, what kind of auto sales would you do? Is it auto sales like an auction? And is an auction the same as auto sales?
No, but yes, they are, but
They
So
are,
that's a
but we
question.
wouldn't do an auction. So specifically for the people that are storing cars with us, these higher end cars, what ends up happening, and the reason that our museum is constantly fresh, is that they generally hold on to these collector cars for about a year before they turn around, sell it, and exchange for something else. And so we currently help them with that process through my dealership in Pleasant Grove, but it's certainly a hassle to operate out of Pleasant Grove and another location where the cars are stored. It would be a dramatically smoother experience to be able to help these individuals through one company where we're storing the cars, where people come and look at the car and process the deal at that location.
So you're acting as a broker then, essentially? Is
Yeah,
that-
I mean, consigning the
more or
vehicles is, yeah, we don't have any intention of having cars in inventory. So I don't want you to think like Tim Dolly or something like that.
understand.
The vehicles that would be stored are the vehicles that we would sell. They wouldn't be our vehicles. They would be someone else's vehicle that we would then consign for them, help match them up, sometimes within the same facility, just changes owners, stays in the same spot.
Got it.
So my question back to Zach's staff would be, does that fall into the same category as auto sales?
unfortunately.
Okay.
I think that, we have auto sales as a condition use. And so I think that, I don't think I have a problem with it. That sounds okay. I don't think there would be an issue by me having them there, but I do think we would need to notify the public and have it amended on this conditional use permit in the future to allow them to do that, is my opinion.
So we could pass this as is, and then they wouldn't need to come back with an additional request for the sales aspect of
Yep.
it. A separate conditional use permit?
It can be an amendment.
An amendment to,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
So we can
Yeah.
add the 250
Yes, we'll do
cap
that.
to this. and approve that so they can move forward with the business of the museum and then come back.
It does say in the findings, though, the proposed use for auto sales, so it seems like it's in there, or am I crazy?
What?
There are no findings of fact for this. Those are for the items from previous meetings, and we had 2 auto sales last meeting.
Okay.
I don't know, that went to.
Do you have anything else for the applicant? No?
But that's okay.
Thank you.
Do you know how quickly we'd be able to request again to come back for the auto sales?
We can, you can.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah, I mean, you can submit an application for an amendment. Oh, hold on 1 second. We're having my director come up. Hold on 1 second.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, now I'm.
This was, there's a place where this is listed in their application in terms of consignment, so we're going to do this quickly for them. That was an oversight on our part. So next meeting, we can get you, so it'll be August 7th.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if I could commit it to next meeting, but yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
We
yep,
appreciate it.
So, next meeting.
That's only 2 weeks.
No
When's
problem.
the next
We
meeting?
wouldn't be able to get started that
August
fast anyway,
3rd,
so
yeah.
that's great.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're good. We're ready for a motion on this matter.
Yes, Chair, I'll make a motion that Planning Commission approve a conditional use permit to allow an automotive storage facility and museum at the property addressed 158 East, 45th South, subject to the following conditions. Do you want me to read each of these conditions?
No.
Okay, but we have to add the 250 cap on the attendance. Okay?
Absolutely. Thank you.
I'll
Do
second
we
that.
have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hildreth by Commissioner Kling to approve the conditional use permit, and a second by Commissioner Hildreth. Shall we take a roll call vote on this?
Yep. Commissioner Kling,
Yes.
Commissioner Hildreth,
Yes.
Commissioner Pearson,
Yes.
Commissioner Hacker,
Yes.
and Vice Chair Huristo.
Yes,
Thank you.
motion is passed unanimously. Thank you. Good, congratulations.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
answering our questions.
Looking forward to seeing you guys there.
Yeah, good luck. I'm looking forward to it too. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is the Legacy Materials request to revoke conditional use permit. Do we have the party here representing Legacy Materials? No one here for Legacy? I'll make certain that. Okay, apparently there is the applicant or the principal regarding Legacy is not here, so we'll have David Rogers from staff present the matter here.
Thank you, Chair. So a lot of you have seen this already. We came exactly 90 days ago with the same request, and you guys made a motion to extend the deadline 90 days. So I'm going to go very quickly through this presentation. There's one slide in particular I'm going to focus on, and that's what's happened since you guys last saw this, and then we'll go to the recommendation. So it's a 3.82 acre site just south of the Humane Society on Commerce Drive. Yeah, some background information. You guys have seen all of this. They were issued a conditional use permit in 2023 and have not abided by their conditions or gotten their business license and have been operating without one. So we've got timeline part one we talked about, 2023, 2024, 2024, early 2025. And then this is what's happened since. So we provided the property owner with notice of the Planning Commission meeting. The Planning Commission voted to extend the deadline of the conditional use permit revocation for 90 days to a date and time certain, which was July 17th, exactly 90 days later. The business owner did reach out to us the next day and asked what he needed to do, and I informed him of applying for the business license, or a building permit, getting the landscaping in, and once those were done, to apply for the business license, and none of that was done. The city did send notice to the property owner indicating that the Planning Commission would consider this revocation tonight. as mandated by state requirements to notice. These are the unfulfilled conditions. We've got 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, and 12 that we talked about last time. And our departments issued comments, just like we did before. We sent this revocation around to our different departments. The departments indicated that nothing that they required had been fulfilled, and they all had the same recommendation to continue to revoke the conditional use permit. So in summary, we've worked with Legacy Materials on several occasions to assist in obtaining all the approvals needed to meet the conditional use permit. We've reached out to them via phone call, emails, and letters, and sometimes those have been responded to originally. It has not been since you guys saw that last 90 days ago. We compiled a timeline of what has occurred, and based on the length of time without any progress towards compliance, staff is concerned that modifying or imposing those deadlines will not be a sufficient response. You have the options you had last time to continue to modify the conditions, to take no action and dismiss the complaint, or to revoke the conditional use permit. And if you do that, the applicant must vacate the site within 30 days. So our finding is that Legacy Materials have been operating their business in violation of the conditional use permit. They've been operating their business without a Murray City business license. Staff has reached out on several occasions with little or no response from the business, and Murray City Code Enforcement has issued citations and made Legacy Materials aware that they are operating illegally. So based on all of this, staff recommends that the Planning Commission revoke the conditional use permit for Legacy Materials located at 4300 South Commerce Drive. And as a reminder, the applicant will be required to discontinue the use within 30 days if you do vote to revoke. No land use permits or business license approvals will be issued for use if the conditional use permit is revoked. Additionally, if the revocation occurs and the applicant desires to request a future reapplication, staff will present options and timings for future considerations for the Planning Commission to consider if that does occur. And that's all I have for you. If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer those.
So the last time you talked to him was the day after our previous meeting about
That's
this?
correct.
Okay.
So my understanding is that the business is not represented here and the property owner is not here either?
That is correct. They were noticed that the meeting was occurring, but as far as we can tell, there's no one here from the property ownership or the business.
Do we have any other questions for Dave, for staff, or I think in reading the materials that staff has provided to us and previous experience, it appears the situation with this company is well documented. There seems to be a consistent pattern of maybe not bad faith, but not following through and not being responsible with respect to the requests of the city. It appears to me there isn't any really other open items other than to address, to vote on the proposal at this point. There'll be a public, yes, I should open it for public comment. Is there anyone here that would like to make a public comment regarding this matter?
Yeah, hi, I'm Craig Cook. I'm the president of the Humane Society of Utah, next door, the neighbor next door. So, we have been next to them for these 2 years and watched them do their work. Basically, they changed their plans on where they were going to put things and where they're going to make things, which actually was better for us. But the bottom line is that we now have a whole property of blocks. I mean, there are, I don't know, thousands of blocks there right now. And the previous, when the Kingstons were selling the property or leasing the property, they knocked down some of the buildings that used to be there with the spa and the tennis courts. But we have this mountain of dirt. So it's sort of like I don't know, almost like Disneyland, because you have these little mountains and these little hills and everything. So I'm not sure what your power is, but it would be certainly helpful for us to have the land when they revoke the license, to also require them to restore the land, get these blocks out, because there is cement in these blocks that is blowing onto our property, and to require some sort of a flattening of the land to make it a normal piece of property. Because right now, very few businesses could ever use this land the way it is. I don't know if you have a map or pictures of that, but it is a very strange looking thing. And you have a picture of that?
Is that kind of what you're looking for?
Well, it doesn't really show the great mounds and the conveyor belts and all this stuff. So, but you can see it doesn't look like a normal site. And, we're not opposed to industry, but we certainly weren't excited about having the cement plant next to us in the first place, because, it's one of the most hazardous type of operations. But, they had some kind of contained system they claimed, but we never were able to see that. But anyway, we would just like to have whatever power you have to get rid of these blocks, the cement residue, all the pumper trucks, the conveyor belts, everything that's in there, and require the land to be leveled and, not have all this mounds of dirt, basically. So that's all we would have to say. Any questions? Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I've been over there a few times. I haven't been over there at 4 a.m., but
Yeah.
have you seen work going on there during the day, or I know there are people at the
trucks are
Humane
coming.
Society during evening hours all night. So
Yeah.
even at night, have you noticed any of that?
Well, I don't work there. I'm a volunteer, but our employees have seen trucks coming and going, and I have, noticed blocks, higher blocks, like along our line that were there when I went a month before. So I can't say for sure they're working, but it would seem like it's fairly logical, because there seems to be more blocks there than there were 3 months ago. So.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
Ned, so it sounds like they're still operating. Is that a fair assumption? Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's been observation of them still.
Yeah, and that was one of your
operating.
statements last time. You said, if you operate, then you're done. You cannot operate. And they said, oh, we'll have another place, we'll do it. And you understand, if you operate, then this is, and they, oh yeah, we understand. So anyway, that's our position, and we'll leave it to your discretion. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment on this matter? Okay, we'll close the public comment period at this point. Do we have any further questions for staff or internally?
So to follow up on the gentleman's comments, so the business was leasing from the property owner, right? So is there any enforcement? I think it's beyond our remit, but is there any enforcement on the property owner to clean this whole thing up? That's a question for staff.
So there are nuisance ordinances. So, currently, through this revocation, we can't require them to put it back as is. But there are nuisance ordinances. So if there is dust that starts to blow over into their property, they can reach out through a report of concern, and we can then go through that process. I think Chad wants to say something again. Hold on one second.
I think there's two pieces. There's the dirt question, but there's also the question about the cement blocks and those kind of things. Anything that's part of that business has to be removed from that property. So that the cement blocks that he expressed concern about, the conveyor belts, those kind of things have to be removed as part of their vacating the property with discontinuing the use within 30 days. As far as piles of dirt or things that are on the site, that is, as Zach said, that's harder for us to. But there are nuisance ordinances that if there's problems, we can at that point address those with the property owner.
But if the business is MIA,
They're
conceivably-
around. I mean,
Will
they-
the property owner be responsible to clean
ultimately,
this up?
yeah, ultimately,
Okay.
if they're not out there, we'll have to have a conversation with the
Right.
property owner. Yep.
I have a question before you leave. So they can't work on that property anymore.
They'll be given time.
Originally, they wanted to create concrete block. They can't do that. They couldn't do it before, but they still did. My question is, can they still store things on that property?
No, they'll be given time to get the materials off of the property. They can't do business there at all. And storing is business.
Okay.
I know sometimes we have people say, well, it's not a business, it's a storage. Storage is a business. So
Okay,
they'll have to
good.
get it
Thank
out
you.
there. Yep.
We satisfied with? Okay, I think we're ready for a motion regarding the revocation of the conditional use permit for Legacy Materials.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion. Jake, go ahead.
I have a motion
Al?
from,
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the Planning Commission revoke the conditional use permit for Legacy Materials located at 4300 South Commerce Drive.
we have a motion from Commissioner Hacker. Do we have a second?
Chair, I'll second that motion.
We have a second from Commissioner Hildreth. Let's take a vote.
Commissioner Hacker.
Yes.
Commissioner Hildreth.
Yes.
Commissioner Pearson.
Yes.
Commissioner Kling.
Yes.
Chair Haristo.
Yes. So motion is passed. The conditional use permit for Legacy Materials is hereby revoked. Thank you. Final item is regarding subdivision administrative action, 1151 East subdivision, request for a subdivision of a residential lot in the R210 zone. And David, you're presenting this one again. Okay.
Thank you, Commissioners. So this is a request for preliminary and final subdivision approval in the R210 zone for a property located at 1151 East, 6600 South. So it is just over a quarter acre. It's a lot just off of 6600 South, as you can see there. This site was rezoned from R18 to R210 last year and is surrounded mostly by residential. You've got RM25 to the south, R18 to the north, and then open space to the west, which is Wheeler Farm. So this is their subdivision. They're planning on splitting a single-family lot into two separate lots. You can see there, the lots are, one's just over 5,000 square feet, one's just over 6,000 square feet. And in this zone, we have an express provision for twin homes that say that the total lot, the total space must be at least 10,000 square feet with 5,000 square feet each for the two units. And this subdivision meets our ordinance for that. And this is the grading plan, so this just kind of shows some of the changes that they'll be making. As you can see there, they'll be splitting that into those two lots there. You can see the property line, and they are going to access it off of 6600 to the south. Here's the utility plan. I'm sure you saw in your packets that there was an email that we received from the Tanner Ditch Company, and there will be a ditch relocation that is being done as part of this subdivision. And so you can kind of see where the relocation of the ditch is on the east side of the property. It just goes, kind of zigzags over there and is on the east side. So 126 notices of the public hearing were sent to all property owners located within 300 feet and affected entities. And affected entities include utilities, other municipalities. So that's the Tanner Ditch Company received that notice, different organizations like that. As of the time of this presentation, staff received one phone call, just asking some clarifying questions about what was happening, and then the email comment from the Tanner Ditch Company that was included in your packets and that is part of the public record. So for findings with conditions, staff finds the proposed subdivision complies with the standards of the Murray City Subdivision Ordinance. The proposed lots comply with the development standards for a twin home development located within the R210 zone of the Murray City Land Use Ordinance. And the proposed subdivision is in harmony with the purpose and intent of the Murray City General Plan, providing additional opportunities for appropriate residential opportunity within Murray City. So based on our analysis, staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve preliminary and final subdivision approval for the 1151 East subdivision on the property addressed 151 East 6600 South, subject to the following 6 conditions, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Please, David? No. Thank you, David. Is the applicant here? Would you please come forward and state your name and address?
Let me turn that back on for you. Go ahead, sorry.
Did you get that?
One more time.
Kenneth Kitt. I live at 959 East Vine Street.
Thank you. Have you reviewed the recommendations and the requirements for the approval of your petition here?
I have, yeah.
And are you able to satisfy them?
Am I what?
Are you able to comply with them?
I believe, yes, so yes.
Do we have any questions of the applicant?
No.
No, thank you.
So-
Oh,
no.
sorry, one more.
So there's an existing home on this property now?
Yes.
Have you been a resident of this home or?
I was years ago, but it's a rental house right now.
Okay, so your plan is to divide this up, this twin home situation?
Yeah, it's an older home, way old, so.
And are you going to occupy it or are you going to rent it
No.
out? Just rentals?
Yeah. It'll be for rental purposes or selling, so.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
I did have one question.
Oh, yes.
Excuse me. So, the easement for the ditch company that I need to put in it, I mean, I'm asking if, before I record the final plat, can I put the easement on for the ditch company?
So I believe you can, but your plat will have to reflect.
Yeah, the plat would still show it, yeah.
Yeah.
But prior to the recording of it,
Yeah, you should be able to record an easement. It's just when you finish, as you're wrapping up the subdivision through our
Right.
engineering division, you'll just make sure you'll want to indicate that.
okay, that-
yeah.
he didn't read what he said. The contract that he wants makes me need to put the easement on prior, that's why.
Yeah, that should be okay, and we'll work through that with, our engineering staff will help work through that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, we'll open this up to any public comment at this time. Is there anyone here that wishes to make a public comment about this matter? No, apparently there are none, so we'll close the public comment period and proceed, unless there are any questions here among the commissioners, we'll proceed to a motion.
So not a question, but a comment. I was reading this email here. They requested that the letter be read into the hearing. Is that something we would need to do?
So because of how early we got it and they were able to include it in the packets, so that you were all given that as part of the packet and it was posted as part of the public record online, we don't need to read it into the record here because it's already in the record.
No. Okay, we'll looking for a motion on this matter.
Chair, I'll make a motion that the planning commission approve the preliminary and final subdivision approval for the 1151 East subdivision on the property addressed 1151 East 6600 South, subject to the 6 conditions.
We have a motion from Commissioner Pearson. Do we have a second?
Chair, I'll second the motion.
A second from Commissioner Kling. Let's take a vote.
Commissioner Pearson?
Yes.
Commissioner Kling?
Yes.
Commissioner Hacker?
Yes.
Commissioner Hildreth? Yes. Chair Huristo?
Yes. Congratulations. Proceed with good luck with your project. That appears to be the last item on our agenda at this point. Announcements and questions?
Do you guys have any questions for staff right now? No?
Thinking of some.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
So just letting you know, we will have a meeting on the 7th of August. It's going to be run by Chad and Ruth here. David and I will be in Chicago for the EPA Brownfields grant. We got a grant for Brownfields, and they're having a conference, and as part of that grant that we got, there was some training in there. So we will be. So brownfields are contaminated lands. Yeah.
Okay.
So and we're both really new to the brownfields world, so we're gonna go learn some stuff in Chicago. So
Zach, do you know, does Murray have brownfields, and where are they?
oh yes, yeah. I mean everywhere.
Well, it's a little different than brownfields versus an EPA Superfund site.
Correct. Yeah, they are different than that. Pretty much a brownfield is going to be anything that's been developed and may have contamination. So the grant that we got was an assessment grant. So we do these things called phase ones, which really do like historical research on the property to see if there has been contamination of those properties. And then that could warrant a phase two, et cetera, et cetera. And so, like, for example, pretty much anything in like off Commerce between 48th and 52 or 5300 South, that is going to be brownfields area. The grant allows us to go, I think, from 48th to 53rd, and then the freeway through the park. So following along the park down to 53rd. That's that kind of our research area, our grant area. So yeah, we're excited to go and learn about that, and then yeah, it'll be a good meeting. So other than that, we're good.
I have one other unrelated question. So during pre-meeting, we talked about update to the Fashion Place West Station Area Plan. And all I wanted to know, and I should have asked it earlier, was did you get additional funding for that from Wasatch Front Regional Council or
Yeah.
city paying?
We did get funding from the state administered through the
Great.
WFRC.
We'll have a safe flight.
When will we be seeing that on the agenda?
I'm hoping pretty quickly. If not November, hopefully earlier.
Chair, I make a motion to adjourn.
Time.
Oh, at
7:32.
7:32.
Adjourn.
I'll second it.
We're adjourned.
Sure.